Tonight on CTV, a heated debate takes place at the ASCSU Senate session. Find out what caused the controversy.
Then housing is a big topic in the State of the City address. Find out what city officials have planned.
And find out how an organization on campus helps fight food insecurity.
Good evening, Rams. Last night's Senate session got a bit heated about a bill. I'm Edgar Cedillo. The senator who proposed the bill left the Senate floor.
And I'm Lauren Orcutt. Here to tell us more about the meeting last night is Senate correspondent Kenneth Frederick.
That's right, Lauren and Edgar. Senator Savannah Overturf was so upset by the community backlash that she left the Senate floor in the LSC altogether. Her bill was to request for a fund to make a disability simulation happen on CSU.
The Senate meeting started with input on the simulation from members of the community. The gallery input lasted for more than an hour. Some had come in support of Senator Overturf's bill, but the majority of gallery members came to show their disapproval. The disapproval largely came from disabled members of the community who said they were offended that the simulation would not do justice to disabled people.
I cannot begin to imagine what you all have experienced in your life, nor can you with my experiences.
There were also concerns that the simulation could only cover a small range of disabilities, leaving many unaccounted for.
How do you simulate my 19-year-old brother trapped inside his own head with the coherency that he's disabled but not able to function in society? And yeah, the disabilities outlined in this bill may be the most convenient to simulate, but disabilities aren't convenient.
These were just a few of the concerns put forward by the gallery, but Senator Overturf was not alone in her support for the simulation. Overturf brought many letters and comments from people in the disabled community. She even had support from people like Mason Hagman, the CEO of Special Olympics in Colorado.
This is a great idea to help people experience what disabled people experience every day. It is exactly the type of event that student governments should be supporting.
After the comments from the gallery, the Senate took a recess. Problems arose after the recess when Senator Nordstrom, who also spoke in the gallery against the bill, read aloud complaints Senator Overturf made on Facebook during the recess. Despite being called out of line, Senator Nordstrom continued to debate the bill. This outburst upset Overturf so much that she left the Senate floor for the rest of the night. After a second recess to cool down, more debate between the senators, the Senate gave their final vote on the simulation. The bill failed with a vote of 0 to 27 to 1.
So Kenny, I know that was a big topic last night, but after that discussion, was there anything else that the Senate talked about?
So after the Senate voted on the disability fund and they voted it down, they actually got their elections codes passed. So their election manager Cheadle, his new title, is gearing up to get the election ready for this semester.
All right, so now what can we expect to see in this upcoming election?
You know, a really big issue getting those election codes passed was campaign finance reforms. You know, a lot of people were wondering how many people can you have donate to your campaign? How much can one person give? So I think a lot of what we're going to see this semester is a lot of contention between campaign financing, but I also think we're going to see a lot of senators go up for the positions.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. We'll be sure to keep following that story as well. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you. Susan Holmes, the mother of a man who was killed by a CSU police officer in 2017, was arrested on Tuesday. Holmes, who filed a petition under Colorado's new red flag law last month, claimed that she and the officer had a biological son, which was found to be not true after the petition was denied. Larimer County Sheriff's issued a warrant for penalty of perjury.
Evans police arrested 34-year-old Efren Alameda in relation to a homicide that took place on South Link Lane and Lincoln Avenues in Fort Collins. Alameda's arrest becomes the second arrest in suspicion to the homicide. Nicole Gibson, the other suspect in the case, was arrested on Monday. Both Gibson and Alameda are now set to appear on Larimer County Court this Tuesday.
Fort Collins will soon allow people charged with municipal level offenses to go on probation or pay a fine rather than jail time. This now becomes an option for the other alternative sentencing options that the city court gives. This court hopes that this change will provide supervision for those who are experiencing homelessness, mental health issues, and substance abuse issues.
Colorado senators cast their vote along party lines yesterday in yesterday's impeachment vote, after the Senate voted to acquit President Trump on the 2 charges of abuse of power and obstructing Congress. So, Republican Senator Cory Gardner voted to acquit Trump on both charges, while Democrat Michael Bennet voted to convict the president.
2 people have been arrested and charged with pimping at a local Fort Collins spa after a customer requested a massage and an employee attempted to provide a sexual service. 71-year-old Timothy Rane and 57-year-old Jinwen Lau are the owners of Fort Collins Chinese Foot Massage and Touch of Heaven Massage, both located in a shopping center off of South LeMay Avenue. Now, police ask that anyone with information related to these suspects call Detective Chris Wren at 970-416-2385.
Last week, Fort Collins Mayor held his annual State of the City address on campus. The address focused on equity for Fort Collins residents. I met with Mayor Troxel to discuss what this means for the city's future.
Construction is a staple in Fort Collins, so it's no surprise that city leaders are addressing the issue of housing equity in their State of the City address.
Fort Collins has some challenges in that regard, and the City Council is looking at different ways to provide affordable housing, whether it's for whomever is in our community.
One of the ways to tackle the housing boom in Fort Collins might mean revisiting the city's U+2 law.
I think one way that we can help to provide more supply is housing types that we could not limit to just 3 unrelated individuals, but if it's a house built for 5 bedrooms, that it could also provide for housing options.
While the main focus was on residents in Fort Collins, Mayor Wade Troxel also emphasized the importance of businesses in the city.
It's really to keep businesses by creating business for them.
Attracting businesses to Fort Collins would mean more options for residents, which the mayor says goes back to his main focus of making the city one for all to enjoy.
We have a very dynamic and very competitive business climate.
If you would like more information on the city plan for 2020, you can visit fcgov.com/state of the city.
You know, the temperatures outside might be cold right now, but CTV reporter Remy Kebbel discovers a program at CSU that will make us look forward to going outside.
Thanks, Lauren and Edgar. Did you know that the outdoors and learning outdoor leadership skills can help treat PTSD? There's a professor here at CSU that has a class who takes the students outside, which aids in this disorder, all while learning leadership skills. A unique program here at CSU allows students to be outdoors, but the outdoors also can be used for the treatment of PTSD. Ethan Billingsley, a professor for the outdoor leadership classes at CSU and a CSU alumni, teaches students outdoor skills which can actually benefit their mental health. Research shows time outdoors actually fights anxiety, depression, and fatigue, 3 very common side effects to PTSD.
There's often a lot of community that's built around outdoor activities too. You know, when you go rock climbing with a group or rafting with a group, right? And being in groups that are positive and are supporting each other, again, kind of mirrors, I think, a lot of what they experienced in the military.
Thanks, Remy. Well, it might not be the weather outside, but let's head over to weather anchor Jen Platero as she has an update for us on the incoming storm.
That's right, Edgar. After a cold and snowy week, we've expected to get even more snow tonight. Currently, we are under a winter weather advisory in effect from tomorrow until further on this week. I'll have snow totals during the weather later on in the show.
Thank you, Jen. Colorado State University is working on starting construction on a new heating and cooling system for Moby Arena this summer. The new technology is a geo-exchange that would heat and cool the arena from the heat of the earth.
That's right, Lauren. The project will place pipes 5 feet under the ground under the IN fields. The $20 million project is expected to break ground sometime after graduation. The project will be the largest geothermal exchange project in the state of Colorado to date.
Well, I'm sure looking forward to seeing that in the fall. Now, you know that food insecurity is something that affects about 30,000 college students around the country. Groceries are not cheap, but one CSU program helps to alleviate stress from students and keep some change in their wallets and food in their stomachs. Rams Against Hunger is an organization on campus that is solely funded from donations with one goal in mind: keep students well fed.
This is a service that belongs to you. These are your student fees being redistributed to you. It's a matter of you knowing that this is there for you and being willing to understand that this is not something that you are taking advantage of. It's not a handout. It's part of the package of being a CSU student.
You don't really hear much about students struggling for food, but the issue is real and affects thousands of students each semester.
We have a number of students who are experiencing food insecurity on campus. At this point, our best data shows us anywhere from 20 to 40%.
And on a part-time minimum wage salary, like what most college students live on, doesn't leave them with a lot left to pay for rent and foot a grocery bill. This program works towards making food insecurity for students a thing of the past.
Rams Against Hunger is just one effort that's going on among many across campus, and I think we're doing our best to develop a more comprehensive strategy to answering and responding to the students' needs.
As long as the community continues to donate to Rams Against Hunger, students will have the opportunity to stay focused and fed without the worry of food insecurity. Rams Against Hunger has several different programs where students can get free food on campus. To just name a few, they have a mobile food pantry on the first Thursday of every month, a meal swipe program, and pocket pantries located around campus. For more information, you can visit the Slice office on the second floor of the Laurie Student Center.
It's really a great program that we have here on campus. Well, don't go away just yet. Krista McAllister met some furry friends that we're excited to see. Krista, what do you have for us?
That's right, I'll show you those pups. And I also tried out a new spot just in Old Town to grab a bite to eat. All this and more after the break.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.
What's poppin', Rams? I'm Krista McAllister, and I'm back again to tell you about all of the spice and entertainment this week. So let's get into it. Online shopping is fun because it's basically like Christmas, but at any time of the year. Amazon has opened a new delivery center at Centera in Loveland. This 123,000 square foot center is now here in northern Colorado to compensate for the rapidly growing population. Regardless of if it's a growing population or just some really avid online shoppers, Amazon is quickly getting more and more local. And although the warehouse is only 20 minutes away, you can still expect to get your packages within 24 hours. When I think of sports, I think about football. But this week, I found my new favorite sport, dog agility.
The Dog Agility Club is really raising the roof. Since last September, this new club has grown from 5 to 40 members.
I got here and I was like, you know what, I need friends and my dog needs friends and I just love agility, so I went for it and we grew really, really fast.
As the largest of 3 clubs in the United States, the Dog Agility Club definitely fits into the Fort Collins scene.
Having Fort Collins be such a dog positive place, it's really easy for us to be like, hey, let's go on a dog friendly hike. And it's easy to find like other training facilities.
It's really cool to have people under the age of 60 be my dog friends.
Even if you don't have a dog, you can still be a part of this club.
You can sign up as someone who needs a dog, and then other people will sign up their extra dogs, and then we'll match you together.
Although building friendships is important, this club uniquely emphasizes building the bond between humans and their furry friends.
It's fun, you get to experience new things, you don't have to compete, you can just make new friends and, I don't know, have a good time with your dog.
It's a great place for everyone and every creature.
I knew that horse jumping was a sport, but I had no idea that when you jump dogs over hurdles, that's also considered a sport. Do you ever want to send cute Valentine cards to people but realize that you have no artistic talent and also just want to add some extra pizzazz? Well, with the help of the Sweetheart City, you can. This past Monday, Loveland kicked off its Valentine's remailing program. Volunteers gather to hand stamp and remail Valentines from all over the world. The cards are stamped with a special Valentine cachet before they are shipped off to make someone's day. And now it's time for Krista's Catch, where I'll be talking about my favorite catch of the week. For today's edition, I am reviewing the oldest restaurant in northern Colorado, the Silver Grill Cafe. When I walked into the store only an hour after they opened, it was already bustling. The old brick walls and natural light gave the cafe a cozy feel. And it's been so cold this week that I was looking for something to warm me up from the inside out. And I found exactly that at this cafe. The Silver Grill is known for their massive, freshly baked cinnamon rolls, so of course I had to try one. First of all, it was bigger than my outstretched hand, which was great. And second, it was the perfect blend of cinnamon and sugar without being overwhelmingly sweet. And now I have a pretty big sweet tooth, so I added the homemade cream cheese frosting, but they also serve it with butter to help tone down that sweetness. And although you may not want to share, I'd recommend bringing a friend to split it with. A little fun fact, the owner, John Alnorfo, purchased the cafe in 1969, and he made 18 cinnamon rolls that day. But now he makes over 10,000 rolls a month, which is understandable if you've tried one. But if you want to order some food other than a cinnamon roll, there are over 100 breakfast and lunch options to choose from. This restaurant has received a 4.5 rating on TripAdvisor, and based on my experience there, my official rating mirrors that 4.5, which is a solid A rating. The food was great and the atmosphere was very inviting, but it was a little loud in the only half-filled restaurant, and I also would have liked the cinnamon roll to be a little bit warmer. But overall, I definitely recommend stopping by the Silver Grill Cafe, because after going there, I was on a roll for the rest of the day. Well, Rams, that's all the spice and entertainment for this week. But coming up next is Jen Poltero, who will be telling you what to expect in terms of the crazy Colorado weather.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Welcome back from break, Rams. I'm Jen Platero, filling in for Ali Small. So as of right now, our current conditions are looking at about 32 degrees, so just a little bit of light snowfall there for you, and then we're looking at about 10 miles per hour. Rams are caught in the midst of heavy snowfall ascending to campus, which what seemed like could have been the start of a good spring has now turned into an unprecedented snowfall. So the only good excuse for liking this weather would be if you're hitting the slopes and shredding that snow potentially. So we're looking into jumping into those oversized hoodies, snow jackets, and snow boots. So here in our I-70 corridor, we're seeing that Fort Collins and both Colorado Springs will be sharing around the same temperature. So you're looking at about 7 degrees here for Denver. And then also, for tomorrow's forecast, you're looking at about the highest 32 degrees, and you're seeing our lowest at 21 degrees. And wind will be a little steadier than it was today at 7 miles per hour. So again, you're seeing similar weather here from Fort Collins all the way to Colorado Springs. Pueblo is just a little warmer. Also on the outskirts of Colorado, it will get a little warmer as well. So then throughout our week, we are going to hit our last snowfall for Friday. And then on Saturday, it will start to get a little warmer, and then you will start off your weekend with sunnier days. That's all I have for the weather, but don't go away. James Hall has your weekend watch list after the break.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Howdy Rams, I'm James Hall and I have one question for you. Can anyone stop this red-hot men's basketball team? We'll answer that question and more on the one and only Thursday Wrap-Up. On Tuesday, the men's basketball team traveled out to Fresno to take on the Fresno State Bulldogs. The Rams were successful the last time they met this season, and they were looking for another win against their rival. Here we're going to see from the start that Isaiah Stevens gets the ball. He is going to dribble up the court until he drops an absolute dime to Adam Thistlewood, who hits a wide open three. Next, we're going to have Isaiah Stevens again, who's going to jump it off to Moore. Roddy is going to take it down to the glass and get himself a nice easy layup with some physicality. Next thing is a steal by Isaiah Stevens, who is going to kind of take up the court until he drops it off to Tanjay, who drops a nice three there. And now, here it is with another three from Adam Thistlewood. Now, here's going to be a book kind of from the last person they played of UMNLV, and he's just going to beat the entire defense himself and get himself the layup from the transition. Now, this one's kind of interesting. We're going to see a pick here from Nico Corvaccio, allowing Stevens to get a little bit of room. He's going to drop back down, pass to Nico, and he sends it home. Let's look at that again. Right over the defender and a solid two-handed dunk. Finally, he already has his double-double by this point, but Nico Corvaccio down below for a nice, easy 2 points. Excuse me, something got caught in my throat. With the final score of 80-70, the Rams took home their 17th victory to complete the season sweep of Fresno State. On top of this victory, center Nico Corvaccio passed Jordan Caroline for the most double-doubles in Mountain West history with 46 in his career. The Rams are also now at second in the conference, with Boise State having one less win. With the men traveling to Fresno on Tuesday, the women's team stayed home, facing off against the Bulldogs at Moby Arena. The Rams were looking to flip the story from their earlier matchup this season with the help of some Moby madness. We're going to start off with Mackenzie Ellis going and lowering the shoulder to give herself some easy space. There's a block by... excuse me. There we get a steal from 3 Rams. It was a very physical game. There's a rebound by Ellis, who also takes an elbow to the head. Here we're going to see Megan Jacobs with a steal herself. And now after an errant shot, there's a put-up again by Leah Davis, and she's going to do it one more time. Now, when that's all good, but when you don't have to look to make it, and your twin hits a wide-open 3, and then Jordan Patterson also hits a wide-open 3, it's going to be a little rough for your team. So despite the team being physical, it wasn't enough to slow down Fresno State, who took the victory at Moby with a final score of 79-61. Mackenzie Ellis, who is a major contributor for the women's basketball team, went into this game averaging 11 points per game, but was only able to get 4 points for the Rams. Now that we wrapped up the earlier half of this week, it's time to look towards the weekend watch list. The softball team starts their season tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning for the Texas Classic down in Austin. The team will play 5 games in 3 days with 3 big matchups against Maryland, Texas, who is ranked 6th, and Wichita State. The Rams are hoping for repeat performances this year from the senior first baseman, Ashley Ruiz, and junior center fielder, Ashley McKellar. Ruiz finished last year with an average of .386 and an on-base plus slugging of 1.133. With an OPS over 1,000, we can tell that Ruiz has pop, which she displayed by launching 11 dingers last season, which helped her push across 41 runs batted in. She also finished the season with a perfect fielding percentage at first base. McKellar also finished the season with a batting average above .300, ending the season with .341. As a leadoff hitter, speed is more of her game, and with her only homer coming in the fashion of an in-the-parker, it makes sense as to why the Rams let her get things started for the offense last season. As a fielder, McKenna finished with a percentage of .972, but that's after only committing 2 errors all season. From sunny Austin, Texas to a snow-covered Denver, Colorado, the women's hockey team travels down to Denver to take on the Pioneers. After losing to Midland and Minnesota last week, the Rams are hoping they can get things turned around against their rivals to the south. Stephanie Talone is a major part of this Rams offense. So far on the season, she has 20 total points, 12 goals, and 8 assists, with 2 being goals against Minnesota last Sunday. The Rams are going to need Talone to stay hot and get the offense started against DU. Now is the time where I tell you if a statement is fact or fiction, as fast as I can. I have 1 minute to see how many questions I can answer out of 11, and I hope I just do better than last time. With that being said, let's get that timer started. Number 1, CSU football will be ranked next year. Fiction, I don't think they've done enough to get the pieces to get ranked. Next year, we'll have to see what Steve Adazio has in store for the team. Next, was Steve Adazio the right hire? Again, we haven't seen what he's done with the Rams yet, so we're going to have to wait and see, so I'm going to have to say fiction on that. David Roddy is better than Nico Carvaccio. Fiction, it's his freshman year, we don't really see what he's got consistently, and so I'm going to have to say Nico Carvaccio is better. Next, the XFL will succeed. I want to say fact. I want to see these young kids who haven't quite gotten the chance in the pros and maybe just got looked over to have a chance to show what they've got. Number 5, Le'Veon Bell is done playing for the Jets. Fact, I hope so. He didn't pan out, I don't want him. Next, Adam Gase is not a good head coach. Fact, he hasn't won with Miami, and he hasn't won with the Jets. Next, Broncos will make the playoffs next year. I like how fact, Drew Luck looks good, and we're going to see what happens. Next, Nuggets have the deepest... Well, we did better. Not much better, but we did better. So, with that being said, that is all we have the time for here at CTV. Tune in on Monday to find out how the Rams did during their travels, and try to stay warm this weekend.